Dark is the road that lies before me. How can
Welcome all. Please be seated. My name is Sophie Stockton, and I am the celebrant leading the ceremony today. The ceremony to celebrate the life of Thomas Tom Radley. I want to start by thanking you all for coming along today and look forward to helping you begin your 9-day journey of grief together. For those of you who do not understand, typically in Jamaican culture, there are 9 days of grieving when a funeral is held, and today's funeral marks the beginning of those 9 days of shared grief. I would also like to remind you at this time to take a moment to please put your phones on silent so as to not disturb the ceremony. Thank you. We find ourselves here today in a circumstance such as this, to celebrate the life of Thomas. Looking at all of the faces out here in the sunshine, I expect that you would think I would talk about perhaps something a little trite, that I would say something chipper, or that I would try to make this situation we find ourselves in feel a little less awful. But this feeling that we have, this feeling in our gut, is the most honest feeling we can feel at this time as we mourn the loss of this beautiful young man. Death is always bittersweet, especially when we feel as though death has robbed us of our time with somebody. And when death occurs, such as this, when somebody dies by suicide, we find that that bittersweet feeling becomes even more complex. But as I look around at the faces in front of me, seeing you all here together at the beginning of your 9 wondrous days of celebration for Thomas's life, I find myself smiling at the knowledge that Thomas's mother, Irie, and his sister, Amara, will have the greatest amount of support to help them through this turbulent time in their lives. I often use this analogy because I think it really describes the connections that we feel with others. In physics, there's a principle, a phenomenon, if you will, that states once something is unified with another, even if they become separated physically, they are energetically connected forever. Whether you were related to Tom, whether you went to uni with Tom, whether you used to randomly bump into each other at band practice, orchestra, open mic nights, or at the corner shop every other Tuesday, you are energetically connected to him and his life, and you will carry a part of him with you forever. His memory, your memories together, will exist with you forever. Thomas Radley was born in 2000 in Leeds to his mother Irie at Leeds General Infirmary. He instantly became a bouncing baby brother to his older sister Amara, and from then on it was the 3 of them against the world. Thomas was as bright as a button, according to his mother, and he spent his early days reading lots of books and playing with his sister and their friends at the park. He had boundless energy and a fantastical way of making even the greyest days as radiant as sunshine. He went on to enjoy his primary years at school and discovered very early on a voracious passion for music. He particularly enjoyed the end of year musicals and getting to sing, although he didn't think much of getting crammed into those awful, silly, uncomfortable costumes. As time went on, Tom needed more ways to fill his time and keep himself engaged. He went on to receive guitar lessons, and Irie quickly realised that he had a natural talent for it. She encouraged him to continue them along through primary school, into secondary school, into sixth form, into college, then university. Music very much seemed to be the anchor to Thomas's joy. And the time that he spent with guitar in hand were truly amongst his happiest. He often found that music was his route to connecting with others. He found himself lacking in confidence to make friends, often struggling with self-doubt and feeling lesser than others because of his size, his race. But with guitar in hand, he managed to make solid, fulfilling friendships, and eventually, unbeknownst to him, managed to gain himself bandmates for life. While still at secondary school, Thomas spent his weekends using his guitar to entertain people at the local cultural centre. There they shared performances and long afternoons, making music, playing together as a community, sharing food. As he got older, Thomas really did enjoy connecting with the richest parts of his Jamaican heritage. And it found that it helped him heal some of the views that he held about himself. Around the people he found here, he felt normal, more seen. He also became intensely passionate about his Christian faith, the way it intermingled with his culture, and also the acts of charity that were at its very core. The Cultural Centre often ran fundraisers for local homeless charities and ran food drives, featuring delicious Jamaican food like curried goat, grilled plantain, jerk chicken, and fried dumplings the size of cricket balls. Thomas's time at university in Liverpool, unfortunately, was quite the opposite of his time back in Leeds. Sometimes it was quite tricky. The course he'd taken was demanding, but he had hoped that it would reward him appropriately. He spent lots of time practicing his instrument and researching and writing for his assignments. He'd often text his mother and sister late at night during his long library stints just before big deadlines. He'd pose for little selfies with bottles of water and snacks, just so that they knew he was looking after himself, even if he was awake at an ungodly hour in the morning. With the arrival of the pandemic, Thomas found being away from home extraordinarily difficult. With Irie working as a nurse in intensive care, and his sister Amara being away at university, he found the isolation of being stuck in his dorm room very difficult, as well as all the online lectures and the lack of band practice with his friends. Despite his mental health suffering because of this, he tried to make a difference, volunteering at a local community centre to help make relief parcels for locals who struggled to get out to the shop or for those who were too vulnerable to risk catching COVID. He found that for a short time these acts of charity helped to really ground him in all of the chaos. As the second lockdown came around, however, Thomas's mental health decline unfortunately claimed his life at age just 21 years of age. We now have a poem chosen by the family, followed by a beautiful piece of music by Labi Shifra. We will use this time as a reflection, a time to carry out and remember the joy that was Thomas, the joy that he left with us, and the memories that we will carry forever. I would now like to be joined by one of Thomas's friends.
When a light is as bright as the light you shone, there's no such thing as truly gone. When a smile is as precious as the one you wore, you nestle in our hearts forevermore. When one so loved is taken too soon, the love that is left could outshine the moon. So much love with no place to be truly at peace. So we love you more, bittersweet release. Sweet child, you were here for so little in time, but the hole that you left grows ever wide.
The higher you build your barriers, the taller I.
I will now read some tributes, one from somebody who could sadly not be here with us today, and we have somebody here to read another tribute. I will start with a tribute from one of Tom's lecturers, Dr. Garrow. Tom was one of my favourite kinds of students. He always arrived on time, always turned in his assignments on time, but more importantly, he engaged with the world around him at university to its fullest extent. If there was a gig, a fundraiser, a demonstration, a jamming session with peers, Tom would be there. Maybe not at the front and centre of it, but he was there nonetheless. I shall miss his kindness, and I will mourn the loss of the wonderful adult that he would have become. The university has dedicated their next musical showcase to Tom, and will be doing talks to aid awareness surrounding young people's mental health services available to the students at the university. There will also be a plaque placed in the music department to honour him. We now have a tribute from his roommate, Mark. Would you like to join me, please?
I'm not quite sure how to find the right words to say how I feel. I'm not sure there are any right words. It seems like only yesterday I was cooking in the accommodation kitchen, and I'd be listening to him twiddling away on the guitar, practicing, as usual for his Friday afternoon. I think as time goes on, I'll learn to live with the silence in my life now that he's gone, but I won't be happy about the adjustment.
Touching words, thank you. And powerful sentiments from people in Tom's life. We now move to the committal of Tom's body to its resting place. The time has now come where we must say goodbye to the physical part of Tom. As we say goodbye to your loved one, we wish them well as we lay their body to rest. We wish them love and light and peace. And even as we lay them to rest, you still carry a piece of them in every one of you in your hearts. We send Thomas away whole, even though we ourselves are a little less so for it. We allow Thomas to rest and send him on his way. I would now like to invite Irie and Amara to give their offering to Tom, to pour the rum on his casket that will send him through to the afterlife in peace. Pour out a little one for Tom to drink on the way. Pour one out for the road. A toast to help his spirit on the way. Thomas Radley, your kindness towards others will always be spoken of, and the sound of your guitar will ring through people's hearts forever. The joy you have brought to those around you will be storied in the stars, and the smiles of the ones you love the most. Rest now and be free. We now have come to the end of our formal ceremony for Thomas. I would like to thank each and every one of you on behalf of Tom's family for being here today. You may now make your way towards Irie's house for drinks, for food, incredible food, and for music. There will also be a place to make donations to Papyrus, which is the charity of the family's choice, which has supported them through the past couple of weeks. Papyrus provide help to families of those who have lost ones that have died by suicide. They have supported the family through Thomas's loss and also will continue to support them afterwards. As you move to exit the space, you will hear the final song of the ceremony, Jamming by Bob Marley, specifically chosen for being a song that dearly reflects one of the greatest parts of Tom, his need to jam with his friends. Thank you.